If you are starting out in Unreal Engine, then I think this video will help you out and show you how to easily set up your lighting. Don't worry, it's really easy, and I also prepared a free PDF guide that you can download from the link in the description. This way you will have all the information, values and steps from this video in one place for future reference. If you are ready, let's learn about lighting in Unreal Engine. Lighting is a very important part of virtual production. It's an effective tool for adding visual interest, creating atmosphere, telling a story and enhancing gameplay in games, movies and other forms of media. That's why you have lighting specialists who work only with lighting and nothing else. Before we start, let's make some basic preparations that will help us in the long run. Go to Edit and click Project Settings, or go here and click Project Settings, it's the same. Don't worry, you have all these values in the downloaded guide to check them out. Type in DirectX and make sure that the latest DirectX is selected. Type in Global Illumination and make sure Lumen is selected. Shadow Map method to be virtual shadow maps, and we are good to go. Let's start from scratch and add lights to our scene. But before that, go to Window, Load Layout and select Default Editor Layout so we can have the same layout and you will be able to easily follow this video. Go to File, New Level and select Basic. On the right side, delete everything except the floor. Let's add our first light. Go to Add, Lights and just drag and drop directional light to the level. We need some objects to see shadows. Go to Add, Shapes and drag the cube and position it how you want. As you can see, we have shadows now. Directional light is used as a sun and is best for exterior illumination and if you want, for example, to shine light through windows in an interior scene. If you move the light around, nothing will happen. But if you choose to rotate it, press E on your keyboard and you can see changes in the shadow. To figure out the direction of this light, you can see the white arrow. This arrow represents light direction, so you can always know where your light is coming from. Another great shortcut for a directional light is to press Ctrl+L and move the sun in many different directions. It's faster and easier than standard positioning. To change light intensity or color, go to the properties on the right side and over here change intensity, for example, or light color, temperature and so on. Another important thing is to set your lighting to be movable, because we want to use dynamic lighting and use the full power of Lumen. And of course it's easier. Let's now add a point light. Go Add, Lights and Point Light. It's similar to a light bulb and it emits light in all directions. You can also change different properties like intensity, color or temperature as we did with directional light. You can see that if I click play from here, it takes time to get the full light intensity. This effect is called eye adaptation and it's the same as you emerge from darkness to bright sunlight and your eyes need to adapt to the intensity. We don't need this in our editor when we work because we need to wait some time every time we hit play. It's very easy to fix this behavior. Go to Add, Volumes and add Post-Process Volume. It doesn't matter where you put it. I'll talk about more post-process volume in my next video, so make sure to subscribe to get a notification about it or check out the link in the description. Now click the post-process volume and type in infinite bound and enable it. This will enable the post-process volume to cover our whole scene and not just the cube you see. Type exposure, metering mode to be manual. Enable exposure compensation and just move the slider until you see your scene. If you click play, you can see that we got rid of that eye adaptation effect and free to work easily. Another great light that is commonly used is a rectangular light. Its power is in the smoothness of the shadow. Just drag and drop it to the scene. And if you pay attention, you can see how soft the shadow is from the rectangular lighting. As with previous lights, you can change the intensity, color and even width of the light with the source width and height. If I import the point light and position it in the exact location, quick tip, if you want to position elements in the same position, just click this rect light, go to Transform, right click on the location, click copy, and now select point light, right click location and hit paste. Now both lights will be in the same position. Now we can turn off and on the visibility of each one to see the difference in shadows. As you can see, rectangular light has smoother shadows than point light. This will be important and explained later in the video. Shadow smoothness is an essential thing to take into consideration when working with lighting. Shadows can be soft or hard due to size and shape of the light source relative to the object casting the shadow. When the light source is large, diffuse and far away from the object, the resulting shadow will be soft and less defined. On the other hand, when the light source is small, direct and close to the object, the resulting shadow will be sharp and well defined. You can understand this from our point light. If I increase the source radius or size of our light, you will get softer shadows. And if I reduce it, you will get hard-edged shadows. By knowing this difference, you understand the basic principle of working with lighting and will separate amateurs from professional lighting specialists. You can also light your scene by making emissive materials. It's very easy, let me show you how. Go add a sphere. Now right click on the content browser, go material, name your material, double click it to open it up. Now right click and type in constant 3 vector. This will be our color. Now right click and type in constant. This will be light intensity. And add multiply node. Connect constants to multiply and multiply to emissive color. Double click the constant 3 and choose color. Select constant and type in value like 25. Hit apply. And now drag the material to the sphere. And you have the glowing orb. This is very interesting effect to add to your game or movie, but don't rely too much on it because it's not as good as our previous lights. Use it just to spice up the environment. Let's now apply lighting to the actual project. I think you will be surprised how easy it is to set up lighting. I have this forest scene created recently, so if you want to create something like this, check out the description for the full tutorial. Right now, I'll delete everything contained in the lighting folder and recreate the lighting. Go Window, Environment Lighting Mixer. Over here you can add lighting to your level. Select lighting components and click up here to group them into a folder. Now go to Add and add Post-Process Volume. This will be our main tool for creating an atmosphere in the level. Type in infinite and make sure that this infinite extent is selected. This way our effect will affect the whole scene. Now type exposure and make sure to set this min and max to be the same value like 0. This way we will avoid the eye adaptation effect and auto exposure. Type in lumen and set lighting quality to be something like 4 or 5. Let's go to directional light or the sun. And over here type in bloom and enable light shaft bloom. This will add God rays to our scene. You will see them in few moments when we move the light around. Now select exponential height fog and over here make sure to enable volumetric fog to remove blue tint. Now go up to fog density and increase it a bit. Go back to post-process volume and change contrast a bit. I'll reduce it to make this scene paler. You can also go to the directional light and change the color a bit. Now press Ctrl L on your keyboard to move around the sun until you see God rays. As you can see, our God rays are a bit strong, so type in bloom and play with threshold until you find the perfect balance. And this is how you set up basic lighting in Unreal Engine 5. And since now you know the basics of lighting, you can safely proceed to more advanced techniques. If you find this tutorial helpful, drop some comments below or subscribe to get notified about a new tutorial every week. See you on some other video and bye bye.